Better late than pregnant. That's what they say. I ain't having your baby. Ha! Not to mention, welcome to the John Moody experience for this episode. What is up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. My apologies for the delay in getting this one out to you, as well as Real Housewives of Potomac, and I still got to do Love and Hip Hop. I don't think I'm going to be covering basketball-wise. I may occasionally speak on it a little bit, like last night's episode was pretty epic. But anyway, we are not here to talk about those other shows, but we are here to talk about the season finale of Southern Charm in New Orleans. This was season 1, episode 8, Better Late Than Pregnant. And not only is Reagan Charleston not pregnant, her and Jeff have decided to separate. Now, throughout this entire season, we saw a lot of ups and downs, bumps and bruises going on amongst them. And all of us had speculated for the most part that Reagan was plotting on leaving Jeff after his parents fucked up, as Funky Dineva would say, all the church's money. Okay, so yeah, I just didn't see it for them, and I think that Jeff deserves better, quite frankly, because of how Reagan kept trying to manipulate him into thinking he was completely out of his mind because of the possibility that he may have suffered or be suffering from some sort of brain damage from football. Here's the real deal about Jeff Charleston, in my personal opinion. There can be no doubt that, yes, he probably has suffered some injuries, but at the same time, I also believe that Jeff needed you as his wife and the person that promised to love and cherish him in sickness and in health through good and bad times. And I think when the times got bad, I personally don't think that Reagan could handle it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really felt like throughout the season she was really trying to be like, oh, Jeff, something's really wrong with you. Oh my God, I need to separate. I'm going to the French Quarter. And if you remember, the friend Reagan also even said, if you go to that apartment in the French Quarter, you'll be divorced. And maybe that's what Reagan wanted all along in her conversation with Tamika. Tamika said her and Barry went through some things. And Tamika was like, but then we decided to stay together for the sake of the children. What is my anchor then? Because Jeff and I have no children. What about the fluffy babies? What about the fur babies? She's graduated from law school. She is in her second month probably of studying for the Louisiana bar exam. Bar is the last Tuesday, Wednesday in July. So maybe they just separated so she could have a peace of mind and study. I don't know, but I just didn't see it for them. And quite frankly, I feel like, and I could be wrong, I just feel like once the money ran dry, Reagan got ghosted and shook. So I think that Jeff deserves better. I wish him all the best in his healing. And yes, that news hit just today in the blogs that they had formally separated at the making of this video. But let's get into this episode. In this episode, as you know, Gian is sponsoring, hosting a live presentation of John Moody's work. As you know, John Moody is the artist, the suffering artist, the deep philosophical artist in the group. And he's a very talented young man. There can be no doubt about that. I hope one day to own a John Moody amongst some other pieces, because one of the things that I love the most is a nice piece of art you can get. Gosh, I miss being invited to those galas where they had the silent auctions. You could get a Renoir or something for really cheap. Always buy art. Art's a good investment. Jay-Z knew. I've always known because I used to study art. It was my strong suit when I was in high school. So everybody's getting ready for that. John seems to be going through some sort of dress rehearsal. I said, God forgive me for lusting after this young man. He is too young for me, and I couldn't do nothing with him. He couldn't do nothing with me or for me. But maybe he could. But honey, he had them washboards, abs out, and these little white Nike type track pants. Somebody said them Fashion Novas. I was like, no, baby, those are Nikes, okay? And I'm pretty sure they're the expensive kind. You can't find those down to the outlet. So he's getting ready for his show. Tamika and Susan have decided that they are going to stage a pseudo interview with Rainey, Barry and Tamika's 8-year-old, because as you know, in the last episode, there was discussion about the lack of diversity in the school and the fact that she is the only one. I personally think that it's kind of a disservice. I know she wants the education, and I know that Tamika keeps saying it's one of the best schools. It's one of the best schools academically, yes. But what about your child's mental? Okay, and why should she have to fight every day or come up with some sort of comeback for these ignorant ass white kids that she's dealing with? Okay, these white privileged, out of touch children. Are any of the teachers in the school at least black or minority? I mean, something. She needs somebody she can identify with. The headmaster, the chancellor, somebody. But either way, she realizes that she needs to spend time with her daughter. And so her and Susan go to Susan's radio station and they interview Rainey. And Rainey shares with the fact that people are always asking her, why is her hair so fluffy? And why does she look like this and that? And I felt some type of way. I was like, okay. And so I like how Susan said, you tell them your hair has a lot of volume. And I'm like, that's a buzzword, because in the hair industry, when you have big, puffy, fluffy hair, it's volume, okay? Something that many wish they could achieve. And then when people have the volume, they don't want it. Like I have friends that try to flat iron and thin out and silk press and all that, their hair. I'm like, no one's ever happy with their hair. But truthfully, these kids don't see anyone like them, like Rainey, 9 times out of 10 in their little circles. So that's also part of the problem. But she says that she stands up for herself, and Tamika is very proud because she is raising a strong African-American woman. I was like, Susan would disagree with you, as I do. I would just say a strong black woman. But okay. So I'm glad that that also showed Tamika that she really needs to make more time for her children. I loved in the opening scene how Barry was helping his daughter decorate her room. And it also, when she came home, Barry was still cleaning. I guess once he gets going, he said he just can't stop. I feel you. Now, my room may look like hell. I'll tell anybody, don't come in my room, because I'm a diva and I have multiple outfit changes. As a matter of fact, growing up, my bonus daddy used to always tell me, he used to call me mahogany, because I always had these wardrobe changes before church. Because, you know, I had to coordinate. I've always been a fashion person. Let me see what else happened in this episode. And I'm maybe kind of all over the place at this point, because some kind of way, I like to link all my tweets together, because when I do my reviews, I do them based upon what I said while live watching and kind of making mental notes of what was going on. Also, with regards to Tamika felt like she, as the wife of Barry, had to stand up to Gian. I think she may have made things worse for Barry. But hey, it's the thought that counts, and an effort was put in. But after her confrontation with Gian, they have some sort of luncheon the next day, and she comes in with her girlfriends. It was Rachel, Reagan, Susan, and her, and I don't know if the Out of Africa lady was there. I don't know. So everyone had a great time at Jeff and Reagan's Easter dinner. Or pre-Easter dinner, Easter weekend dinner. But Tamika could not help herself. She had to have words with Gian about how she was so wrong for disconnecting from Barry and ending the friendship and business relationship. So Tamika kind of has convinced the women that Gian is an opportunist. She only wants to work with men because, you know, she works with Sonny's nonprofit, which is Tamika's brother. She's now working with John. She was trying to work with Barry. Justin may be up next. But my question is, what partnership would she have with the rest of you? Because the only one in the group that I know of that has their own business would be Reagan, would be the only other one she could partner with. I don't know if maybe if you could put aside the whatever it is that you and Gian have going, maybe y'all can start a nonprofit for girls or something. Because I know we found out last week through Twitter, speaking of which, Gian has blocked Tamika on Twitter. Sound like I'm sending you dick pics or anything. I'm like, girl, she just don't want to see you or hear you or look at you on social media. And she probably changed the channel or changed news stations when you come on in the mornings. I'm just saying that's probably how Gian feels about you, Tamika. But I'm just saying. So I'm thinking maybe Gian and Tamika can join forces and form some sort of nonprofit for girls, considering that Gian is the owner of some mental health clinics. So that might be a good ideal to go with and maybe help build their self-esteem and all that good stuff, because Reagan did know they are more alike than what they know. Tamika's friends kind of feel like, yeah, Gian is the bad person and Tamika is right. But wait a minute, Reagan does not wholly believe this, because in her confessional, she's like, well, maybe they're more alike than they know. Because they've known each other since high school. So Tamika really never has come out and said point blank to me what it is. She just told me that Gian would be a non-factor at the end of the day. I guess she is a non-factor, but in some ways I feel like the hate is unnecessary. So I definitely would have to know more of the backstory of what did Gian do to make Tamika feel like she's such a bad and nasty person. It's almost like you hate her for her success. I could be wrong. That's speculative. But you know, Tamika, you can always fill me in. And if you oblige me and tell me to share, I definitely will share that information with my few followers I have. But we're trying to grow this channel, girl. Give us a shout out or something. Okay. Oh, and in this episode, honey, it was moving day for Kelsey and Justin. They moving into his mama and daddy's house across the street from his house that's being renovated. And all I got to say is, Miss Kelsey, you cannot get mad at any of us on Twitter and try to justify your behavior. But honey, what you showed us last night just proves my point. And the reason why I'm talking directly to Kelsey, because she is another cast member who has came to me. I was on last Monday, in the midst of my love and hip hop Twitter party. I received not one, but 2 tweets from Miss Kelsey. Okay, and I'm trying to find that tweet now. I don't know, because what happened is that she tweeted me once, and I said, I'll get back to her once I'm done live tweeting with my peeps for love and hip hop. And then next thing I know, it comes up again right in the middle of Basketball Wives, which I didn't finish watching. But either way, I decided to respond, because essentially there was a clip that they showed on Bravo's YouTube channel that now we've seen in its full force. I don't know if it's Bravo's editing, and maybe they were being a little petty and maybe showing Kelsey to be a little whiny and needy. But from what I gleaned from it, if this is how you act, you talking about Justin not ready for marriage, I don't think you're ready for it either. So they get in there. It's all shits and giggles initially. Mom is so happy to see her baby boy coming home. And by the way, this episode, Miss Dottie looked good, okay? I don't know what was going on that first episode, but she looked damn good this episode. She looked like his older sister or somebody. Not even an older aunt. She looked like an older sister. But Justin and Kelsey get in his room. He tells her, I have to tell you something. Basically, there's going to be another construction delay on the house. This is construction, Kelsey. Why did you jump fool right then and there? And again, I'm going to say maybe it was Bravo's editing. But me was like, oh my God, it's just one more thing. And I was just like, oh my God. So basically the gist of the conversation was like, well, I'm just a girlfriend and you just make decisions all the time. And he was like, well, if you would just let me finish speaking. And she was like, you always talk. That's the problem. And I'm just supposed to take it. And I'm just like, see there? That's why. Lesson learned, because I had to learn it the hard way too, sugar. You can't move in with somebody and just think that it's going to be all sweet and neat. That's when you really find out what it's like to be with somebody. And I think you're finding out that Justin is just not moving at the speed that you want. You feel as though your clock is ticking. Baby, you got at least 5 more good years before you would consider a geriatric pregnancy, because you said you're 30 years old. So the questions on Twitter were like, well, you don't want to be at his parents' house. indefinitely. So can't you get your own place? As a nurse, she should be able to in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, she should be able to find her like a studio or something. But I guess maybe she feels as if I leave or separate from Justin, it could be a problem. So I don't know what's going on there. All I know is Miss Dottie was chilling in that kitchen and she heard it and she got up and was looking like, not in my house, we will not. We will not. Not you gonna be talking crazy to my baby, okay? So mama coming there with some water, with some Dasani, because everybody thirsty. Miss Kelsey is very thirsty, okay? Because she want a ring, nuptials, and a baby. She comes in, then she starts snitching like a 3-year-old to the kid's mom how she's visiting at, about how she's upset at the fact that Justin is just making decisions without them. And Miss Dottie is just like, well, child, let me tell you. As far as I know, everybody who's seen y'all thinks y'all are a great couple. And so she's just like, but at the same time, everything that Justin is doing, he's doing for y'all. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. And she was like, see, it's already starting. There are no secrets in your parents' house. Well, first of all, Kelsey, you the one who got up in there and started loud talking as soon as he told you it might be more than 4 months before you get out his mama's house. You could have at least closed the door or waited till y'all got in the car to go somewhere to have the conversation. You should have just grinned and bore it. And that's why I was like, you can't get like testy with me, is what I felt like when I said what I said. My whole thing is this: there are conversations you need to have with people before you move in with them. And sometimes even if you have those conversations, those people could have gotten you there under false pretenses. It happens too. You just have to be prepared to always be able to get up and leave. But I just didn't think that what you did in front of his mom and got mad about it was wholly necessary. Oh, before the party, Reagan was still at home 2 weeks before finals, which I'm like, girl, I don't know why you cooking, because shit, I was studying 2 weeks in the library. 2 weeks before final. But she made some gumbo, and everybody says that Reagan can cook. So I said, I love everything about being a Southern woman. I love the cooking. I just love it. I love being domestic. I was like, girl, help your best friend out. Since y'all say that's my best friend, help Tamika out so she can learn how to cook too. There's talk of children at the table. Reagan ain't ready. Jeff is, because he said he want a new family, because his old family has passed away, as in they alive, but they really don't exist in his eyes, because they stole all his money, honey. After that, everybody's getting ready for party, Reagan calls in crises to tell Tamika, while Barry's in the room, that she thinks she's late. She's 8 days late. Child. But don't tell Jeff, because we don't want him to get all worked up and excited, because this is something he really wants. And my other issue is, because she keeps talking about that too, because we just don't know what the next 5 years are going to be, Jeff. But my thing is, did Reagan know at the time that she got with Jeff that there was a possibility that there could be some mental health issues associated with life after the gridiron? I mean, did she know that? Either way, Barry was like, why y'all don't want me to tell Jeff? And Tamika is like, well, you know Reagan don't want no kids. He said, hell, you didn't either. I was like, well, shit, don't say it out loud. That's all Rainy need to know. My mama didn't want me. I mean, I'm just like, my thing is this: I don't think it was meant that way. I think what it is that none of us who have children, I'm saying us, but none of y'all who have children, the stories I've told is some people just didn't plan it. It's just like, ooh, I'm pregnant. What do I do? So I think that's what it was meant like. I don't think that Barry and Tamika or Tamika meant anything by that, or Barry either. So either way, at the party, they're there. And of course, you know, Gian is hosting, and Tamika randomly blurts out in the cake room, if you could throw that cake at anybody, who would you throw it at, Gian? And Barry told her just leave it alone, because as soon as she found out Gian had canceled her membership down to the gym, here she go. And Gian said, honestly, I would throw it at myself, because healing starts with me. So I have to start within. I have to start with me. I was like, see, that mental health clinic is paying off. You should check that out, Tamika. Next thing you know, she all up on Barry. I was like, damn, maybe she should have more conversations with Gian, where Gian tell at least I knew when my marriage was over, because like Tamika like, my marriage is never over until I say it's over. Baby, it ain't over till it's over. I love Lenny Kravitz so much. Either way, let's get back on to the task, because I need to wrap this up. I got stuff to do, like jokes to write. All of a sudden, she in front of Gian, she just all up on Barry, like, I love my husband. Eventually, we see growth in Tamika after 8 episodes. Tamika decided to apologize to Gian and told her it was wrong what she did. That was not professional. Exactly. Then her and Barry go and have Mr. Nasty time in a closet. Reagan takes a pregnancy test. This is what, our second or third time in reality TV history that I know of, because I think Jocelyn Hernandez was the first one to do it, take a pregnancy test in the bathroom or restroom, in the public restroom. But before that, Barry told Jeff, and Jeff is all geeked and excited, and Reagan is like, I don't know, let me go find out. She finds out, of course, she's not pregnant. I think, honestly, the stress of law school probably shut her period off, and that can happen. It never happened to me, although it would come on, but not really come on. So there's no baby, and Jeff is bummed. But there will be time, because I love you no matter what. We're family, Jeff. In the end, we have the live painting by John Moody. It's the John Moody experience. And Jeff cuts loose once again with some random Napoleon Dynamite dance. I love Jeff. I really do. As for Kelsie and Justin, who knows what the future holds from them. When I guess they together still, but some people said, dear Ashley said, women like Kelsey annoy me. Justin gives you signs that you're to play a role and everything is on time and you want to get bucked. You can't be a bad bitch and a doormat. Damn. One of my other Twitter friends, TV and Judgment, said, maybe I just move slow, but I wouldn't even be living with someone within the first year, and I definitely wouldn't be expecting a ring that soon. Oh, and I would not be staying with his mom. That pretty much completes the season finale. Okay, so I found the tweet from Kelsey. So my tweet said, so here's what I want to know. What kind of conversation was, and at the time you moved in with Justin, and demanding marriage will push him away, and its construction delays happen. She says, not demanding anything from Justin, just simply trying to understand where our relationship is headed. It's a valid conversation when being asked to move in with his parents, but you knew when moving day was. You also want to know where your relationship is headed. That conversation should have been had before you even moved into his house. And I said, my comment comes in from what we have seen this season as a whole. And the question is, what was the discussion that was had prior to you moving in with him before he even decided to do renovations? And Kelsey has yet to respond. And that's fine by me. That's just my opinion. And I just don't want to see Kelsey disappointed, hurt, and broken. Because I've been in that situation twice. And it wasn't a good feeling. The first time was kind of, something was going on, kind of just had to move somewhere. And then the second time, conversations were had, agreements were made, understandings were made, and then it turned out that he just lured me there under false pretenses. So I'm not saying that Justin is like that. I think Justin is a great catch and a great young man who's very ambitious. I just simply think that you need to learn how to be patient and don't push it to the limit. But I hope that Southern Charm New Orleans makes a return back. I thoroughly enjoyed the show overall. I know a lot of people weren't feeling it, but I liked it. I thought it was cute, a little cleaner than more of the reality shows. I know some people were disappointed that I don't watch Southern Charm, the original Southern Charm. And I guess there's another one, Southern Charm Savannah. But I really chose to watch Southern Charm New Orleans because of its diversity. You have this group of friends, black and white and Creole or whatever, and they all come together and have great times, and I think that's pretty awesome. I would like to see that more in reality shows, true, authentic friendships, Like, for instance, if you did a reality show with me and my friends, we would be Asian and white and black and Latino. So, yeah, I think we should think about doing that. The real life people of Long Beach or Los Angeles, however you want to look at it. But I'm just saying. Anywho, that's all I've got for this episode of Southern Charm. That's all I've got for this season. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about Southern Charm New Orleans. Would you like to see a second season? And what did you think about this episode? And what do you think about these couples on here, especially the announcement that Jeff and Reagan have separated? It comes as no surprise to Miss Sophia the Diva, but who knows? Maybe she's just taking a break until after the bar exam. Who knows? In August, they could be back together. That's all I've got. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva.